I still hear your voice at night. Make me feel alright. Jump right back into my life. Cause we could dance the night away. Make me love you through the haze. Ain't no need to be afraid.
Hey, have you heard about false familiarity? Why a complete stranger can feel like someone you've always known? Imagine you're waiting at a train station. People move in and out, hundreds of faces, none of them meaning anything. Then someone walks past and boom, you get this rush. You know them. You're sure you've met before. Maybe as a child, maybe years ago. You search your memory and come up blank.
Yes, I've had that. You replay the moment over and over, convinced there's a missing piece. They smile and disappear into the crowd, and for the rest of the day, you can't stop thinking about them. It's unnerving. So what's actually going on in your head when that happens?
Scientists call this false familiarity, a sense of recognition that shows up without an actual memory behind it. It's not the vivid recall of a specific scene, it's a feeling, familiar, confident, and empty at once. Think of it as your brain's "this seems right" button lighting up without the file it normally opens.
That's a helpful image. Is it related to déjà vu then? They feel similar, but I think false familiarity is more about people or places specifically feeling known, rather than the eerie sense that this exact situation happened before, right?
Exactly. Déjà vu is more about a moment feeling replayed. False familiarity often happens with faces or environments. Memory researchers talk about two systems: recollection and familiarity. Recollection is the rich story, names, places, emotions. Familiarity is a quieter signal. I recognize this. When familiarity fires without recollection, you end up with a feeling and no memory.
Why would our brains do that? Is it a bug or a feature?
A bit of both. Familiarity is useful. It helps us quickly orient in a crowd and make fast social judgments, but it relies on pattern matching. A stranger might share a hairstyle, a smile, or a way of walking with someone from your past. Your brain notices the overlap and flags known. Or sometimes subtle exposure. You might have seen them in a photo or on social media and barely registered it. Implicit memory does its work under the radar.
So small overlaps or half-remembered exposures can trick the system. Are there deeper brain explanations?
Yes, different brain regions handle familiarity and detailed recall. The hippocampus is important for linking events and context, the stories. Neighboring areas, like the perirhinal cortex, support familiarity signals. If the familiarity circuit activates without the hippocampal story, you end up with a feeling and no memory. Stress, fatigue, or distraction can also weaken the recall side, making that feeling louder and lonelier.
That makes sense. It also explains why we sometimes trust a feeling that turns out to be wrong. What are the real-world consequences?
They range from amusing to consequential. On the light side, you might follow a stranger thinking they're an old friend and get an awkward, "Sorry, do I know you?" On the serious side, feelings of familiarity can influence eyewitness testimony or social decisions. We might wrongly assume trust based on a false sense of knowing. The takeaway? Feelings are data, but they're not infallible.
So how should someone handle that nagging recognition when it happens?
Pause. Don't act on certainty alone. Take a breath, check context, look for details, clothing, accent, specific features, and ask a simple question if appropriate. Have we met before? If it's a persistent puzzle, jot it down. Curiosity beats conviction. Treat the feeling as a clue, not proof.
I like that. Curiosity over conviction. Any final thought?
Remember, our brains are pattern machines. They help us survive, but sometimes patch over gaps with confident feelings. False familiarity is one of those patches. Curious, unsettling, and a reminder that our inner certainty can outpace actual memory.
Thanks for that. If you like this episode, stay tuned. Next time we'll explore why déjà vu feels so eerie. Until then,
Intro music. This has been Brain Glitch, where every mystery begins with a story and ends inside your mind. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll be back with more engaging content soon. So, why does this happen? How can a complete stranger feel so familiar?
it's a strange little trick our minds play. The answer may be simpler and stranger than you think.
We like to imagine memories as neat files in a cabinet, but your brain doesn't store whole people like that. It stores tiny pieces, a smile, a voice, the shape of a face, the way someone walks.
Most of the time, those fragments are silently compared against thousands of other fragments. That lightning fast match, and your brain says, I've seen this before. and you move on.
But sometimes the comparison isn't complete. A stranger might remind you of several people at once. The eyes of one memory, the smile of another, the cadence of someone's voice from years ago.
None of them are the same person, but together they make a single powerful feeling: familiarity. Your brain recognizes the pattern, but it can't identify the source, so you're left with certainty and no answer.
Scientists call this false familiarity. It may happen when the feeling of recognition is triggered before the actual memory is retrieved. It's like your mind knows something before it knows why.
That gap is what makes it mysterious. Not every feeling comes from reality. Sometimes it comes from the way your brain stitches fragments into a story, even when that story never really happened.
So, were you remembering that stranger? Probably not. What you remembered wasn't a person. It was a feeling. Small fragments from different memories briefly aligned and felt like a single life, a single face, a single forgotten story.
The stranger never changed. Your brain built a bridge between the present and scattered pieces of your past. Recognition and memory are closely linked, but they're not the same thing.
You can feel recognition without retrieving a real memory. And when that happens, your mind quietly fills the empty space, not with facts, but with certainty.
Which is the strangest lesson. You don't always remember the world exactly as it is. Sometimes your brain creates the feeling of a memory before a memory ever existed.
So, next time a stranger feels unexplainably familiar, pause for a second. Ask yourself, did I really know this person? Or did my brain make a story from scattered pieces that only felt true?
And perhaps that's the biggest brain glitch of all. The strongest memories aren't always the real ones. Sometimes the most convincing memory is the one your brain never actually had.
Thanks for listening to Brain Glitch, where every mystery begins with a story and ends inside your mind. See you in the next glitch.
After credits teaser. Next time, imagine waking up certain today is Wednesday. Everyone insists it's Friday. Calendars, phones, clocks agree, but your brain refuses to believe them. Time blindness.
I still hear your voice at night, make me feel alright. Jump right back into my heart. 'Cause we could dance the night away, make me love you through the haze. Ain't no need to be afraid,